It's Andy here again with another video, and this is number 4 in the occasional series I'm doing called 3 Live Records. I do like a live album, and I've got quite a few. So in these, I'm just selecting 3 from my collection and just showcasing them briefly. And now, being live, there's a whole mix of sort of formats in here. You know, some are Blu-ray or DVD. I've got some CD, and I've got some vinyl. The commitment I make on these is that there will always be at least one vinyl live record in what I'm showing, and where there's a bit of a link, I try and sort of group things together a little bit, you know, very loose links. And there's a sort of loose link from my last 3 Live Records video, where if you watched it, I talked about Uriah Heep Live, which in January was recorded in January 1973 in Birmingham Town Hall, and I was there for that particular one. Now, that's the only, as far as I'm aware anyway, that's the only one where I was actually at the gig where it was recorded. But I'm going to showcase one today where I saw the band a few days before they recorded it on this tour, and it's a very similar time, and I'm talking about the album Genesis Live. And this was recorded in February, sort of late February 73 at De Montfort. I think most of it was De Montfort Hall, Leicester, and some of it was at the Free Trade Hall in Manchester. And about a few, I don't know, 5 days or so, sort of within the week of when this was recorded, a few days before, on the 18th of February, which was 2 weeks after my 16th birthday, I saw them play, you know, effectively the concert from that this was based on, again at Birmingham Town Hall, and it was fabulous. It was the first time I'd seen Genesis. It was the first concert I went to with my, what you might call my teenage sweetheart at the time, girlfriend in my late teens, and it was an amazing experience. I can't remember who supported them, but you know, to me, the best Genesis albums, they had a run of 3, which I think was their peak, and that was Nursery Crime, followed by Foxtrot, followed by Selling England by the Pound, which was released later in 1973. And in fact, as I'm recording this, it was actually released 50 years ago this week gone. It was a few days ago, I believe. So it's you know, they were playing essentially stuff from their previous albums, mostly a little bit from Trespass, quite a bit from Nursery Crime, and obviously Foxtrot was their recent release. Now, this is just a single LP, so it's 40 minutes plus or minus. So it barely scratches the surface of the whole gig. They've got a couple of tracks from Foxtrot, Watcher of the Skies, Get 'Em Out by Friday. Then a couple of tracks from Nursery Crime, The Return of the Giant Hogweed, and Musical Box. And then from Trespass, they've got The Knife. So, you know, what an experience that was when I was 16 to go and see that. This is a first release. It's on this side. It's the Large Hatter, and that was the Christmas label in 1973. So that was Genesis Live.
Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. So he called for his pipe, and he called for his bow, and he called for his fiddlers 3.
Now, linked to that, this year, 50 years of Fox. It might have been last year when this was recorded, I'm not sure. But it's just come out in the last month. Steve Hackett Foxtrot at 50 and Hackett highlights. And this is brilliant. So this is a Blu-ray of the concert and 2 CDs of the same tracks, but in slightly different order. You know, Hackett, of course, was the guitarist in Genesis at this time when these were recorded, and he's carried on, you know, so he's still touring. He went on, obviously, after he left Genesis to do some really good solo stuff, and he's showcasing that as well. He's a superb. His guitar play has actually got better as he's got older, and this album, it sort of kicks off. You know, I watched the Blu-ray. I haven't actually listened to the CDs, to be honest, because I like watching it. You know, he's playing some of his own stuff like Spectral Mornings, Basic Instinct, Shadow the Hierophant, before going in for the second half of it, or most of the second half, playing, you know, in sequence the whole of Foxtrot, and it's absolutely brilliant. Now you could argue it's a bit like a, you know, like a tribute band, but it's a bit better than that because you've got the original guitarist and the singer. You know, the other person who's a bit irreplaceable, obviously, is Peter Gabriel, but the singer in here, whose name I've forgotten, Ned, what's your name, Ned? Can't remember. Actually comes across as a you know, he sounds exactly the part. It's not like he's forcing, you know, an impression of Gabriel. He just sounds like it. You close your eyes and it's fine. Musicianship on here is perfect. If you like this, you know, if you like Foxtrot, it's absolutely brilliant and well worth looking at. It was recorded in Brighton. I'm not sure the date. It was live in Brighton. 2022, I think, so, you know, which would have been appropriate because it was 50 years old last year. So that's Steve Hackett, Foxtrot at 50, and Hackett highlights live in Brighton, and well worth a look if you're into that sort of stuff. Third album is completely unrelated to Genesis, but the link, if there is one, is it was recorded at De Montfort Hall in Leicester in 1979. So this was like only 6 years after Genesis Live was recorded, but the music landscape changed so much during the 70s, you know, compared to now, that it's like a lifetime. 6 years different. It's very different, and I'm talking about Bill Nelson's Red Noise live, De Montfort Hall, Leicester, 1979. And this is quite unique to me as well. It's a 10-inch album. It's literally the only 10-inch album I have, and it was released this year for Record Store Day, and as far as I'm aware, it was never released originally, but I might be wrong on that. So Bill Nelson, of course, was the leader, guitarist, singer of the magnificent Bebop Deluxe, and after he sort of disbanded that in the sort of late 70s, he sort of wanted to go in a different direction and created Red Noise. They were very short-lived. I think they only had one. I might be wrong on this, but I think they only had one studio album. It was nice stuff. It's sort of very end of 70s, without yet sounding like it's 80s. And the band was Bill, Andy Clark keyboard, Ian Nelson saxophone, which I presume it must be his brother, Rick Pinky Ford on bass guitar, as far as I'm aware, no relative. And Steve Peer on drums and Insanity, and it's a double. It's in a sort of semi-transparent red, and it's a lovely. You know, it's like 180 vinyl, and it's a nice packaging. You can see the band there, and it's a nice album. So that's my 3 live albums for this episode, and I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching. Cheers.